housing. It is always an issue here in the state of Colorado, but this year it is compounded by lots of different factors. Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Beverly Weaver, and joining me now in the state capitol, the Hall of Power, if we will, is Senator Jessie Ulibarri. Thanks so much for coming by, Senator.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about affordable housing. It has become kind of a key issue for you this year. Tell me what really brought that to the forefront. How big is the problem, do you think?
So this summer I had the opportunity to serve on the Economic Opportunity Poverty Reduction Task Force and co-chair the housing subgroup. And so it was my job to go out to different housing projects, different communities, and talk about how are folks getting by and is housing within reach. And what we heard unilaterally across the state, whether you're in Adams County, which is the district I represent, or you're in the mountain communities and you work for a ski resort, or you work in the oil fields of Weld County, folks are having a really difficult time finding an affordable place to live. And the reason, a whole host of reasons. We just went through one of the worst recessions in our country's history, and people are still trying to get back on their feet. And then we went through the wildfire and flood season, where folks were displaced from their homes, and it has meant that for Coloradans, rents are at an all-time high, and vacancies are at an all-time low, and it makes it much more difficult for families to find a place that's within reach.
Let's talk about what affordable housing means to you. What are you trying to get done? Are you trying to get more units that are opened up at an affordable rate, or what?
So I'm looking at this issue full scale. So yes, we want more folks to be able to afford a rental unit if they so choose, but also looking at the continuum or the spectrum of housing options. So if folks want to be able to buy, that they have the ability to buy and get into a good place. My Senate district is on the south end of Adams County, and we have light rail lines that are going up north and into Adams County. And part of my focus this year is also seeing, are there products that can be built that are attainable, within reach, affordable, for families that for the first time want to buy a townhouse or a condo right on the light rail station. They want to stay in their community, but they can't afford a $400,000 or $500,000 condo. So that's the other part of it, looking at not just rental, but owner-occupied. I grew up in a trailer park in my Senate district, and I live 2 miles away from there currently, and that's been the affordable housing option. But most folks don't know that a trailer is not treated like a home under law. It's treated more like a car. It's titled as personal property, not real estate. And so that's an asset that depreciates over time.
Yeah.
And so the only option that folks really have are trailers at this point. We want a whole host of options for people so they can afford the communities that they love.
Right, and you're talking about the spectrum, obviously, rural, urban, everything else.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your history. What brought you to the state legislature? What did you feel that you had to offer from your background?
So I was incredibly fortunate to grow up in the Senate district that I represent. My grandparents raised my parents there, so I know it from a lived perspective. And my background is in nonprofit advocacy, so I've spent many years down here, over a decade now, at the Capitol, not as a lawmaker, but as a citizen advocate, ensuring that we have economic opportunity for every single family. And it was because of the issues that I just mentioned. I grew up in a trailer park in my Senate district. My parents worked 2 jobs to make sure my brother and I could have a fair shot to succeed. My mom was a waitress, my dad was a construction worker, and they cleaned offices at night, brought my brother and I along so we could succeed. And as I went through my career, I got a college education, the first person in my family to receive a bachelor's degree, and I looked back and said, are those same opportunities still there for families in Senate District 21? And when I decided to run, it didn't look that apparent. We had just gone through the Great Recession. Many families were struggling, and what we know in my district is if you work really hard, you should have an opportunity to succeed.
Yeah. Most definitely. Well, you bring a great background. It's great to see you, and it's nice to see so many young lawmakers taking on the roles of leadership here in the state capitol. Senator Jessie Ulibarri, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Beverly.
And thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Beverly Weaver.